Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whenever it is you're listening to us. I'm not quite sure what time of the day it is while you're hearing this. Um, Welcome back to Roots and Resilience. As always, it's me, Mandie, and Laura coming together. We've got a little bite-sized top 5 tips coming your way. And today, Laura, we're going to talk all about arguing. Now, let's not fall out about it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, how are you feeling?
Well, I mean,
You know?
um,
I mean, do I know? Do you know? Does anybody know?
I have learnt that the first sign that my child is trying to argue with me is when they go, yeah, but. Mm,
Oh, so you've
oh,
got a keyword. You've got a
oh.
keyword. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm straight
interesting.
in there. Um,
Interesting.
yes, the yeah, but is never a conversation starter. It's always going to lead to an argument.
Nice. Nice. So you get the yeah. So there's
Yeah,
almost a little bit of a mitigation there, isn't there? There's almost a little bit of a softly, but it follows with the but. Yeah.
yeah,
And I think for some people listening, it might be more of it's just a straight no.
yes.
Just no. No, 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 no. That might be the start, mightn't it? So yeah, I think coming in with what's the keyword, what's that bit where I just know this is now going to turn is really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's be honest, we know our children. We know them well enough to know that when
Mm,
they start with these little phrases,
yeah.
we know what's coming. And I've experienced the yeah, but then I
Mm,
defend myself and they keep yeah, butting me. And then the next thing
mm,
I know, I'm right in the thick of it, Laura. And then I stand there afterwards going, how did I let that happen? Why have I ended up in that situation where I am arguing with my 14-year-old about the time on the Xbox or something
sure,
just so silly? I didn't need
sure.
to do that. Come on
Yeah.
now.
And so it's point number one, isn't it? Is step out early. If we can recognize those keywords, those entrance words, the gateway into the argument, that's the point where we can go, hang on, I know this is the door I stepped through last time, and this is the one I'm absolutely not going to step through now, because that famous saying, it takes two to tango.
It does.
You were tangoing, Mandy. You were number two, and you need to not be number two. You need to let the solo dancer do their thing.
I know, but it's so
I know.
hard in that
It
moment.
is
And
incredibly hard.
I think to go along with that, I think it's so important that we as parents and adults actually practice these phrases
Mm,
so that
yeah,
and even if you feel really ridiculous saying to your partner or looking at yourself in the mirror going, right, when this is said, this is how I'm going to respond to
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
It builds that muscle memory in your brain of
definitely.
actually, like you said, this is the key word. I know what's going to come, but I'm going to change this
Mhm,
story script and I'm going to
mhm,
say this instead. And it might just be
mhm.
enough to break that pattern of communication between you and your child.
Definitely, and it's about recognizing then actually there's more than one brain being rewired here, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Always a good
Yeah.
thing. And I guess then, verbally doing that with literally telling your child, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
And the bit for me there is then, I guess, disengaging with that part of the conversation. We're not going to disengage with the child because the
No.
likelihood is they need you in some way, shape, or form. That's just the whole point of them arguing, isn't it? There's a fear beneath that. We need to be able to meet the need attached to that fear, but we can disengage with the behaviour, i.e., the argument, but not the child. So it
Mm.
is a little bit about just kind of being there, maybe distracting, talking about other things, reminding them that we know this is important to them, but it's not going to be an argument, but it can be something we come back to logically. And I've
Yeah.
had so many people say to me when I've offered this bit of advice around arguing is, but they just keep going. Of course they will. Of course they will. Yeah, absolutely. Over time, they might start to kind of relax off of that a little bit more when they realize through repeated experiences that actually you genuinely are not going to argue,
Yeah.
but they are going to keep going. But again, if you are not the second one to step into this tango, then actually what they're doing is ranting.
Mm.
And we all
Mm.
have a good rant when we're upset about something, don't we? So actually just let them rant. And then we can be empathic, can't we? Then we can be curious we can use bits of our pace here. We can be curious about the need, about what it is that's so upsetting for them, what might have triggered that, and empathic with that. So again, there's no actual argument happening here.
Yeah. And if it's around an instruction, like, "I wanna go on my Xbox," um, it's not Xbox time. You need to do
Yeah,
your homework first, and then
sure.
you can have the Xbox. "No, I wanna do it now." You're
Mm,
already in that confrontation conversation,
definitely.
aren't you?
Yep,
So a
yep.
really key phrase that I was told to use was the when and then.
Yes,
So
love a when and then.
when you've done your homework, then you can go on your Xbox. No
Mm,
problem. Yeah, but I want to go on it now. When you've done your homework, then it's Xbox time. And
mm,
just repeat it.
yep.
If they really need that engagement with you, but while you're repeating it, it gives you time to slow your breathing down, to make
Mm,
sure that your higher thinking brain is working and that prefrontal cortex is using that logical, rational thinking because theirs
definitely,
isn't,
definitely.
and you can then co-regulate them. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think I probably lent into point number two already accidentally, but also a great segue as always. Point number two is really thinking about the feeling beneath the behavior. The argument is the behavior. This is the challenge for us. We know it's fueled by some sort of negative, most likely fear based emotion.
mhm,
But our
mhm,
children might not get that. The survival element, the fight, flight, or freeze is to verbally fight within the argument. That's what, that's how they're surviving
yeah,
whatever perceived fearful incident, perceived threat they're having, isn't it? So if we can help them to understand where this is coming from, and of course they might not always want to hear it because they might be really set with this argument that the
mhm,
demand on the fight, the verbal fight, might be really high. But if we can get them to think about where they're coming from, and really think about the feeling and not the behavior, we're going to start to see a shift over time. And then hopefully they will be then self-regulating from that point of fear.
yeah, yeah. And a really good way of doing that is to say, I can see this is really frustrating for you,
Hmm.
or I can see this isn't what you want to hear,
Yeah, yeah,
but I'm here when you're ready.
yeah,
So you're allowing yourself to be emotionally available to them, but you're not letting them do whatever it is they want to do. And they may turn around, like you said, they're not thinking rationally and logically at that time.
mm,
They may turn around and go, "No, no, it's not. It's nothing to do with that. I just want to go on my Xbox." I hear
yeah,
you, but when you've done your homework, then you can do your
yeah,
Xbox and try and counteract the emotion that they're giving.
yeah,
So
definitely.
something that we learned in DDP work was about follow, lead, follow. So you can follow the child, you can match their pitch,
Hmm.
but keep that quiet calmness, and then they will follow you. They will regulate, and
Definitely.
then you can follow the child to doing what they need to do.
Yeah, yeah. It's all
Follow,
about
lead,
the
follow.
affect.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
So if you have
yeah.
a child who stood there and they've asked to go on their exit box and then they're exclaiming, "Oh my God, you don't believe what this means to me." You can go, "I can see that's really a lot for you, but I'm not saying you can't ever do it." So you've matched them and
Yeah.
now you're bringing it back
Bringing
down.
it down. Yeah,
For
yeah.
some children, they might find that really, really confrontational and overwhelming. Again, you know your children best.
Hmm.
Don't match if it's going to spike them even further, but
Yeah.
you can do that little bit of mirroring, follow, lead, follow.
Mm, mm, absolutely. And just slowing things down,
Yeah.
in an argument. I know if I'm having an argument, I'm thinking quicker, my heart rate is higher, everything feels very quick, very frantic, very buzz, 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 buzz. And
Yeah.
actually, I know in that instance, my cortisol level is higher, my stress hormone is buzzing out of the room. It's just too much. So being able to, like you said, tell your child that you can see and understand how frustrated they are. Let's take a second, we'll slow that down. Immediately if they're being recognized and heard, the cortisol will start to drop, which
Yeah.
is the most important bit here in terms of regulation. Yeah.
And keep it
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
Don't over it. So if they're not able to use rational, logical thinking, they
Mm.
will not listen to what you're saying. They
Mm.
will just want to talk over you. You will then get more frustrated. You then get triggered. They're triggered, and then we escalate.
What a mess. What a mess.
Have
Yeah.
some phrases, have some key, simple phrases that you can just repeat because let's be honest, they're not really listening to what we're saying.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to hear about how their homework is going to help them academically in the future for them to get the career that they want, whereas the Xbox is just a complete random waste of time. They're not going to want to hear it. Don't waste
Absolutely.
your time. Minimize it. Keep it simple.
Definitely. Definitely. And again, it leads into point number 3, doesn't it? About keeping that demand really low. So if we're in the middle of an argument, we can't be firing out instructions left, right, and centre. And that explanation about the benefit of the homework and the waste of time of the
Yeah.
Xbox, that's a high demand thing to think about.
Hmm.
And again, is going against what they're desperately trying to fight for. So
Yeah.
again, we need to keep things low, don't we? So the when and then is such a perfect way of doing that. It's low demand. When this happens, this will follow.
Yeah.
And again, supports cause and effect thinking for children.
Yes. Yeah.
The positive consequence of you doing your homework is that you do get some time to chill and play Minecraft or Roblox or whatever it is that you're wanting to do on your Xbox. Yeah.
And reduce the time pressure as well. So don't say,
Mm.
"You've got 5 minutes
Oh
to make a
God.
decision of what you want to do." No, 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 no,
No.
no,
No.
because that 5 minutes is gonna be taken with you repeating your
Yeah.
strategy. They're just gonna get again, they're gonna fire up, they're gonna talk over you, you're gonna get fired up, and it's never gonna work well. Where you can, sow the seed of what you want them to do, and
Uh-huh.
then let it grow. Walk away.
Yep. Yep.
Shtm. You know?
Yep.
We don't
Yeah.
have to as a podcast person, I like using words a lot, um, but in these instances, less is better.
Definitely. Definitely. And I think at this point, it's worth for any parents remembering lowering the demand, moving timescales a little bit if we have to manage the length of time of said attempted argument doesn't mean we're giving in.
No.
And you not engaging in an argument is not them winning either. There is no win to be had here other than a happy, regulated child. And an argument, you winning an argument, doesn't create that. Lowering the demand does not mean that you've lost. It means we're regulating a situation. It means we're still nurturing a child, and that will always be the win. So that's important to remember as well.
Can I also slip into there as well about the environment? So if it's,
Mm.
like bright lights, dim the lights down a little bit. If it's a small enclosed, stuffy space, especially at the moment, we've got a spell of really good hot weather at the moment. So rooms might feel quite stuffy, quite
Mm.
overheated. Maybe go
Mm.
and open some windows, put the fan on, draw the blinds or the curtains,
Mm-hmm.
turn the lights down, try and get some airflow, offer a drink if
Yeah.
it's appropriate to do so. You might say, "Oh, I feel a bit peckish myself actually. I might just have a biscuit. Do you want a biscuit?"
Mm.
Distraction, do all of
Mm-hmm.
those things, but make it really low demand. If they can start answering your questions, that means that that higher thinking brain is now starting to be engaged, and then you can start
Yeah.
moving forward. But if they're
Lovely.
still shouting expletives at you because they just want to do what they want to do, they're
Mm-hmm.
not going to use that ability to answer a question.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And we've talked about regulating the children, but we can only do this for point number 4 if we are regulated as well. So again, in an argument, like I said a minute ago, I know my heart is beating faster. I know I'm probably a bit flushed. I know I'm probably a bit more agitated in my body movements. My cortisol level will have risen 100%, not by
Hmm.
100%, but there is a 100% chance that it's risen.
Yeah, yeah.
I can physically feel the body changes. And if someone is trying to argue with me, even if I'm desperately trying not to argue back, whether that's a child, whether it's an adult, whether it's a complete stranger on a
Hmm.
train,
Hmm.
for example,
Hmm.
this happened to me at the weekend. I can feel myself just gradually starting to lift. And so it's so important to be that unassailable safe base for our children, that we are as regulated as possible, or certainly faking it till we make it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And I think there's again that there's that key bit about if you are going to present visibly, physically showing your cortisol levels, like I know that I do, my children will know that I'm already peaking. So there's just no, I need to be able to do that. I guess for children with trauma, what we don't want to do is apportion blame to them if they see the impact they've had on us. That's not that they don't reflect on that a little bit later, because again, there's a bit of self-awareness there. But being able to kind of go, do you know what? I just need a minute to pop to the loo, and then we'll come back to this. You might not need the loo, although it might be a nice relief,
Mm.
But just being able to go move to the bathroom, take a couple of deep breaths, shake out any anxiety you've got in your body, just having that minute before you come back. It might be, oh, I just need to go and check. I think I heard my phone buzzing in the other room. I'll be back with you.
Yeah,
I think I left my bag in the car earlier. Give me a minute to check and we'll come back to this. But
yeah,
we're not apportioning blame to you needing that break, needing a minute, needing a minute or two to take a breath. But what you're actually giving yourself is that space to do so. Of course, with the caveat of risk assessing that. It
yes,
must be risk assessed. And again, as we always say, you will know your children best.
yeah, absolutely. And I think what can work if you have a child who is feeling really negatively about themselves at the moment, they can sometimes try and suck you into these arguments or these
Mm,
negative conversations. So
yeah.
you end up feeling as bad as they are feeling about
Mhm.
themselves.
Mhm.
But when you're in that place, you can't actually give them what they need, which is that
Yeah.
co-regulation, that being emotionally available and offering that nurture. So if you've got a child who, I don't know, just you offer them something and they just swear at you, F off, get out my room.
Mhm.
Um, just walk away.
Yeah.
As long as it is safe to do
Yeah.
so, when I'm saying safe to do so, they're not at risk of hurting themselves or
Mhm.
others. There's no blood or broken bones.
Yeah.
Um, walk away and do the 3 R's. And that is remove. So if you have removed yourself from the situation, you're going to regulate yourself. Second R, regulate, do some breathing, slow your heart rate down, get your head back in the game. And then the third one, reconnect. So go back in and go, oh, sorry, I just had to take a minute, but I'm back here now. How can I help?
Yeah.
What can I do to help you?
Yeah.
Because then you're not shaming them. You're not saying, oh, I can't cope with you right now. I'm going to take a minute.
That's the key bit, isn't it? Because if you can't cope with their struggles, who are you to them, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You're just going to create a whole new dynamic of problems. But if you say,
Mhm.
oh, gosh, I really struggled with that just then. I feel
Mm.
better now. Now, what was it you wanted me to do? Sorry, did you say you wanted to go on your Xbox? When you've done your homework,
Yeah.
then play your Xbox. So you're
Absolutely.
still sticking to the same narrative. It's
Mm.
just you've had a little time out, you've had a little break to
Yeah.
regulate yourself.
Yeah. And it's point number 5, isn't it? Point number 5 is reconnecting after that real tricky bit of the storm. We're not saying the rain has stopped. We're not saying it hasn't finished thunder and lightning, but we're reconnecting after that peak. And again, you will all know your children well enough to know when they've peaked and when they're on the way back down. And this is that real connective bit. And as much as that argument might have driven you to distraction, you might be feeling quite angry yourself, potentially, depending on the nature of the situation. As the adults, as the therapeutic people, as the ones who try and stay regulated more so than perhaps our children are able to, is we have to be the ones that offer the olive branch. We
Yeah.
have to be the ones that come back. We have to restart and re-establish this relationship as soon as humanly and therapeutically possible. So again, our children are not flooded with blame and shame about, oh, well, I've ruined this as well.
Yeah, yeah. Don't wait and expect your child to make the first move in an
No,
apology because you're going to be
no.
waiting a really, really, really long time. The amount of shame they carry and the blame that they carry
Mm-hmm.
will stop them from ever making that first move. So you
Mm,
have to be the grown adult and you have to make that move. That could be if you've got a child that's stormed off and gone and put themselves in their bedroom, just knocking on the door and saying,
yeah,
I was going to have a drink. Would you like me to make you one?
yeah.
Or I'm feeling really tired. Do you want to have a little biscuit and try and do something
Mm-hmm.
come on downstairs when you're ready, I'll be there. When they do come back to you, don't say as your first point, "Now, this argument we had."
Oh,
No, no, no,
no.
no. No, 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 no. Because all you will do is fire it back up again.
Hmm.
You can say about the feelings, "Wow, that was some big feelings we had going on there. Phew,
Yeah.
I found that
Yeah.
really hard too."
Yeah.
That's fine, but we're not picking up the argument where we left
No.
off just so that we can prove our point. No
No.
one wins.
No, and again, we're not looking for a win, are we? We're
No.
looking for a regulated child who knows there is an adult here that always has their back, no matter what. And yeah, the whole olive branch thing, we have to be the adults, we have to be the ones that offer that branch. And we are reinforcing how important this relationship is. And it's not damaged. It doesn't need to be repaired as such. Actually, we're still here. We just had a little wobble.
That's right.
We just had a little wobble.
And I think what's really key to remember is in all of our relationships as adults, we don't always have the same opinion as everybody else.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean that we have to fall out and never speak to each other again. It's
definitely.
okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay to have a difference in what we want to do with our time, but we have to work together as a team. And that's what therapeutic parenting, I think, is all about, really, keeping that
Yeah,
teamwork going.
definitely.
Great 5 top
Definitely.
tips, by the way, Laura.
Amazing. And I feel like we've raced through them a little bit today, but I feel like that's maybe the reflective nature of arguments. We kind of want them done and dusted as quick as possible.
You do.
And we've given great tips here to be able to help people to not even get to that point where an argument is taking place. So, yeah, great top 5.
What I would say to our lovely listeners is if you feel that we've gone through this too fast, you've not been able to pick up on it, even though you've listened back 3 times, please do that. Um, Reach out and we can share a top tip sheet with you. There will be something on our socials, to help you out as well. But if there's particular phrases or if there's a certain situation that you find yourself in with a child, reach out. Laura and I will be able to give you a little bit more independent individual support. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
If it's raised any questions for you, then please do drop us a line, rootsandresilience@outlook.com, or you can message us direct through our Facebook page. Um, yeah, I don't want to fall out with you, Laura. I think
me
we're
either.
done.
Me either. I think we're done. And I think we'll be back nice and fresh for our next episode.
So our next episode, segueing into that, as you are doing so well, it will be our R&R exchange. So we love hearing your questions and receiving any feedback from you guys. It really helps us to work on making the pod supportive and suitable for you. So please do drop us a line with any questions you would like us to answer on our R&R session. And yeah, enjoy the weather wherever you are. Enjoy what you're doing and try not to get sucked into summer holiday deep despair, really.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. We will see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.